Okay, folks, welcome to Market Wrap for the 14th. So I just wrapped up a presentation for TrendSpider. It's a pre-recording that will be sent out. I'll send it out to everyone on the 26th. They're doing a series, and they asked me to do some analysis on Bitcoin, which I did, and it has to do with the correlation of Bitcoin and the consumer price index. So it went really well, I think. It was a lot of fun, so that's done. One thing off my plate, and sorry for the late market wrap. So let's do this. All right, update for the markets. Our longs did really well. Mixed bag with our shorts. We booked profits on Amazon. Thank God we booked that profit quickly because it reversed. The short of the semis, we're underwater on that one. But as I mentioned yesterday, small opening position, just in case we're wrong. And I'm not convinced yet that we're wrong, but we'll talk about that chart in a moment and our exit strategy. Okay, let's talk about bond yields first. I think we're pulling back. So therefore, I think we are going to rally in the markets. And that's going to be good for, unfortunately, our short of the semis. But I think that rally is going to be short-lived. Remember, we have CPI coming out on Friday. So here's a chart of the 10-year yield. We are trading for the third consecutive day above the 2 standard deviation Bollinger Band, flirting with the third. Can it move higher? Sure, but it's extended. We're going to get a pullback here in the next couple of days. As sure as God made green little apples, it's going to happen. So either tomorrow, next day, it's going to happen. TLT. Kind of a doji formation, smack dab at support, it closed. 138.17, right smack dab at support. You don't get much closer than that. Volume, down volume declined, which is good to see, but rose versus yesterday's up volume. Tips, still bearish. Volume declined, not much to talk about there. The dollar continues to struggle with this 25.60 mark. This is what's lighting a fuse under the gold and gold mining stocks. I mean, if we take out 25.51, you're going to see gold just blow through the roof. That's a continuation breakdown. Volume rose versus yesterday, and relative to the moving average here, it was pretty good volume, I have to say that. The VIX hammered today, and we closed down below support. I don't know if you could see that, but we did close down below support. Stokes are weak and declining. I think what's setting up here, folks, is an event on Friday with that CPI data. And what I continue to watch for are the moving averages, which are declining. The 20-day is approaching the 200-day moving average on the transports. The 50-day is picking up steam to the downside. Not what you want to see. Volume today was good, but we had topping action, a wick, shadow, whatever you want to call it, topping tail. The S&P 500 daily chart, up day, an outside reversal bar, very bullish. I think we're going to move up higher. I said that earlier. I think we're moving up higher, but we haven't broken out yet. And the one thing that we need to keep a really close eye on is volume. Volume was horrible today. So while, yeah, really great price action, the volume action was no bueno. Stokes broke out. We drew this line last night. We got a breakout. If we roll over, we'll have to adjust this line up higher. But at current, we have a breakout. We have a potential higher low on RSI, setting up for a potential breakout. So Spider's looking good. The Dow Jones, RSI, hooking up with a higher low. Very similar to the Spiders. Same deal with the Stokes. We were stalled at resistance, but we did break out. We broke out above the upper band of resistance, represented in blue. But again, folks, take note of the volume. In fact, let's memorialize the trip cues, consistent with the Spiders and Dow Jones, higher lows RSI, breakout, partial breakout on Stokes, an up day, but we were paused, stalled, I should say, at resistance at 360. That 360 number keeps popping up. Volume declined. Small caps broke out of the triangle formation. Strong oscillators. Volume, no bueno. XLF, The banks are doing really, really well. What are we up so far this week? 1.7%. Looking really good here. It's early in the week, but I like to check volume. It's way too early to make a decision on volume. Let's go back to the daily chart. All right, so the banks are very, very strong. Volume could be better. It rose versus yesterday, but still well below average. Technology. We have a breakout here. It's hard to see. Let's be conservative and say we closed at it. Very similar price action on the momentum indicators, RSI and Stokes, as what we saw on the Qs. Looking good. Consumer discretionaries. Reversal day. I was pretty bearish on them yesterday. They bounced back, even closed above the 200-day and the 20-day moving average. That's not going to stop the 20-day crossing below the 200-day moving average. That momentum is way too strong, unless we really gap up higher tomorrow. Energy. Finally paused here. Volume rose to the downside. I think any correction here in energy is going to be a buying opportunity. Emerging markets. Sniffing out weakness in the dollar and really firming up here. Volume is light. Let's check out Brazil. Brazil is in fuego. Very strong chart. Commodity driven. Speaking of commodities, gold. We broke out yesterday. Classic pullback and a retest and a bullish key reversal off of now support. What was resistance here is now support. RSI rising, Stokes rising. Here's the problem, and I believe this is going to be the same for the mining stocks as well. Volume. You know, just because I own it doesn't mean I'm going to not address it. We don't speak our book here, because if we ignore something that's concerning, well, we're only fooling ourselves. Volume is not good. Up volume is not good. It's disappointing, but we're nearing that 1830 mark to 1850 mark, where we start closing out the week above those levels. Things are going to get real fast in the gold market. In fact, I'm curious, with the price action so far, how are we looking on a monthly line chart? Remember, that hasn't broken out yet. And it still hasn't broken out yet. Trying to. Let's check out the candlestick version. Tight, real tight. RSI is breaking out. Stokes are moving up higher. Ultimate oscillator has already broken out. So I'm feeling good about the monthly chart, but way too early in the month to make any calls here. All right, gold mining stocks, GDXJ. This is our investment vehicle. Closed above $40 a share. Nice to see. Moving averages beginning to flatten out. Also good to see. Volume, not good. Not good. NUGT moved up over 2.25% today. Very similar price action to what we saw on gold. We broke out, pulled back, retest, bullish key reversal bar. They were buying it into the close. Volume light. So we sold the 5250 covered calls right in this range here. So I'm feeling comfortable with that price point, because right now there's about a 14.5% probability of trading in the money or above that mark. Ideally, we want those options to expire worthless. AGQ, daily chart, nice day. We were up 1.5%. On volume. Volume on silver has been far better than on gold when measured on a daily moving average. The SILJ, rock solid day, up 1.7%. Volume rising. Gold money, up a percentage point. Consolidating nicely here. I think this is a buy. This could be bought. I feel comfortable with it. Cal-Maine Foods, in fuego. Fellow member Franklin asked the question, do we have a potential double top here? Yeah, it's a potential. That is now negated. We have a continuation move up higher on Cal-Maine Foods. And if you take a look at the monthly chart, we have a major breakout, and we are now above the highs of last month. And when you take a look at it even on an even higher time frame quarterly chart, this is demonic. This is a monster breakout out of a multi-year base. This is why I've held this stock for so long, because of this exact base. Look at the RSI hooking up. Very nice. DWAC daily chart, closed up. Nice reversal bar. Nice. We'll hold on to this. I think this is breaking out soon. LABU. A good day. We closed above 19. We have higher lows on RSI, higher lows on Stokes. In fact, in terms of price action, I'm getting more and more comfortable with this setup. Nice triangle formation, higher lows on price. A down day, and it was on heavy volume. I wouldn't read too much into this because we were significantly lower earlier in the day, and we closed down 1.2%, which is significant, but well off the lows of the session. So I'm okay with it. So much so that if we break out on LABU, I may buy the common. We have the naked puts with a 20 strike. We're making money on those because we've rolled them a couple of weeks. I forget how much premium we've brought in on them, but we've certainly we're certainly profitable on the sale of those puts. And just goes to show you the power of rolling the same strike week over week when you have a stock that's been beaten to death. Right? How much more lower is it going to go after this devastating sell-off? So we knew where support was. I mentioned, I think back here, that we're probably going to see the high teens. We actually made it down to the mid-teens due to the sell-off. But I'm comfortable, very comfortable with the trade. Positions that we're watching. I know everybody's interested in PayPal. I remember when PayPal announced earnings last quarter. I was down in, I believe it was Charleston. And I was talking about this oversold Stoke here. And I was predicting a rally. And we got a rally. Yeah, it was November, right here. We got the rally. And then we rolled over. We were long. We stopped out. Thank God that we did. A new earnings announcement. Now we have on a weekly time frame RSI 16.56. Stokes with a double bottom setup. We are at historical support. Right there. So I'm comfortable with getting set up for a trade here. Now, I think that we could have a fairly good short covering rally on PayPal. So while it's interesting to think about selling puts, I think I can make more money by putting on a long call spread. What does that mean? It means that I would buy a 70 delta call. What is that? A 70 delta call is an option. I don't know what the price point is. I don't know what it's going to be yet because it changes minute to minute, the 70 deltas. But a 70 delta is the amount in dollar terms, or percentage terms, I should say, that a option is going to move relative to the share price. So let's do an example. If you buy a 70 delta call option and you own it, for every dollar that PayPal goes up, you get 70 cents of that move. And as the price moves up higher, that delta increases in value. So the other leg of that trade would be to sell simultaneously a deep out of the money 30 delta option. That helps finance the purchase of the trade. You're now hedged. Now we may do a mixture of both. Buy a call spread and sell some naked puts. So taking a look at the share price on a daily time frame, I think we're beginning the process of, it's going to sound weird, stop going down. We need a brief consolidation. Let's drill down to a 4-hour chart. Yeah, W formation forming on a 4-hour Stoke. This is tight, the price action. What I would like to see, the ideal scenario, is that we get one last push lower, and then by the end of business tomorrow, we get a bullish key reversal bar, just like this candlestick here, which did not work out well. But now we are at historical support. That's the difference between buying now than buying here. These people didn't have the patience to wait. They overpaid. We had the patience to wait. Now our risk reward is far more favorable. Moving on to Facebook. Facebook smack dab into support. I think it was fellow member Jeff we were talking about VWAP, and Jeff threw out there 215, and I concurred with him. We hit a low today of 216.15. I mean, that's a rounding error on a stock that's trading over $200. So good call, Jeff. I think that we are looking very good here. Volume is still heavy, daily chart. And we were rejected at resistance today. I think we have a little bit more consolidation to go here on Facebook. But this is another one where we're going to get a short covering rally. RSI is now down to 21.93. Here's the killer. Look at this volume. You can't fight these guys. They will sell every rally. So PayPal first, then Facebook. With that, folks, everybody have a great night, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Be well.